Hi everyone, happy Monday. Like the previous videos, some of us had requests to decipher, to break down poses or transitions. This week, one of my students asked me to break down half split. So Ardha Hanumanasana. Whew, haven't had enough coffee to say that one yet. So half split, how to get into it, how to get out of it, and how to get the maximum out of the pose and really feel where you're supposed to be feeling it throughout the joints, muscles, and all that stuff. So usually to get into half split, you would start from a low lunge and then move your way back. So if you want to be, and remember if you have blocks are always a great tool to have close by for any sort of support for your poses. So when you're in your low lunge, ideally you want to get your knees stacked over your ankle, keeping the heel down, squaring off the hips, rib cage, and shoulders to the front of the room. You want to bring the fingertips down or again onto your blocks, moving that hip forward and down. As we shift and transition back, we want to bring the hip not too far down, but try to keep the hip above the knee and extend that front leg. So again, you can utilize the block to find that extra lift and space. We want to press down through this heel, but we don't want to lock the knee, so you can keep a soft bend. But by activating the back of the leg and pressing to the heel, you'll help not lock the knee. So we want to check out the toes, make sure the toes are up, and again, pressing down through that heel. You can play with having that nice flat back, reaching the sit bones back. So pull the back of the hamstring as you pull the heart forward. You want to keep everything nice and active, even hugging the midline if you can. You can breathe a few breaths here, and then slowly, with blocks or without, folding over the leg. So even when I'm folding over my leg, I'm not collapsing down. I'm still reaching through the heel, pulling back through the sit bones, anchoring down, hugging through that midline. So there's a lot going on, even though that leg is extended. So this past week in class, we had played with keeping the fingertips down, moving from your half split to your low lunge to get into the hip flexors, get into those joints in between the knees and the hips, getting that mobility going, and then finding that nice deep fold. This week we've been playing on different variations because you can play with half split with the foot on the outside of the hand. It's a little bit of a different stretch because then you would go into lizard lunge. So it's a bit different. And also to add, if you want to twist and really get into the hamstrings, you can bring both hands to one side. And again, if your hands don't reach the floor, this is why we have blocks. So as you square off the hips, activate the toes, the same thing. It's a nice deep stretch. You can fold and twist, look back. It just helps get deeper into the hamstring, but not only the middle of the leg, but it's going to wrap around a little bit outer leg and inner leg. Those are fun things you can play with. Another thing to play with half split that I really like is when you activate that front foot and you, without moving the hips and keeping this very stabilized, you can rock the toes back towards the outside and then rock the toes in towards the inside and just feel the back of the leg slightly move and stretch in different areas. So, because your hamstring, remember, it's not just the back of the knee, because that's where we find a lot of stiffness and tightness, where your hamstring is halfway tied underneath your calf and it goes all the way through the whole back of the leg and attaches midway through your glutes. So your hamstring is a nice big long muscle and it has different layers and it spans out. So it's not just that little space behind the knee and it's not just this long. So to play with it, that's why we reach through the heel, reach through the seat, find that length, but we keep the back of the knee soft so it doesn't lock. So again, so when we play, we can move from our low lunge, find that half split. Again, no collapsing or no falling all the way down. This is an entirely different pose. So we want to keep the hip up. Find that flat back, long spine, blocks or no blocks, and then finding that deep stretch over your legs. So I hope that helps for your practice. Have fun on your mats and let me know if there's anything else. Have a great day.